Commander Xylith's four eyes blinked in disbelief as she stared at the monitoring console. The human candidate, designated as Marcus Chen, had just triggered the extraction beacon. It had been exactly 7 hours and 43 minutes since he'd been deposited on Crucible 9. Impossible, she muttered, her translator collar converting her thoughts into galactic standard. Run a diagnostic. The beacon must be malfunctioning. Her assistant, a young Rexian named Korth, frantically manipulated the holographic displays. All systems nominal, Commander. The beacon signature is authentic. He's requesting extraction. Xylith's mandibles clicked in frustration. The survival certification was the Galactic Union's most prestigious endurance trial. Candidates were dropped on hostile worlds with nothing but basic clothing and a distress beacon, forbidden from using it for a minimum of 1 standard year. The record completion time was 2 years, 7 months, held by a Kravik warrior whose species could photosynthesize and hibernate through harsh winters. Most candidates took 4 to 6 years. Some never activated their beacons at all. This human has been on Crucible 9 for less than a third of a planetary rotation, Xylith said, her voice sharp. He couldn't have possibly completed the requirements. Food cache establishment, shelter construction, threat elimination, resource mapping. These tasks take years. Should we retrieve him? Korth asked hesitantly. Xylith's scales rippled with irritation. The rules were clear. Any candidate who activated the beacon would be extracted, but those who activated it prematurely faced immediate disqualification and galactic humiliation. Another arrogant human, she thought, about to learn a painful lesson about overestimating his species' capabilities. Send the extraction team, she ordered. Let's see what excuse he offers for his failure. 2 hours later, Marcus Chen stood in the debriefing chamber, covered in mud and what appeared to be blood, though scans confirmed it wasn't his own. He was grinning. Xylith circled him slowly, her sensor pad displaying the preliminary reports. You activated your beacon after 7 hours and 43 minutes. The minimum requirement is 1 standard year. You are aware this means automatic disqualification. Disqualification? Marcus's grin widened. Commander, I completed all 7 trial objectives. Check your data. Preposterous. The fastest completion on record is about to be replaced, Marcus interrupted, seemingly unconcerned by the breach in protocol. Food cache? Check. Shelter? Check. Eliminated the local apex predator? Double check. That thing was mean, by the way. Resource mapping. Your drones should have all my survey markers. I even found that crashed probe from the 6th expedition everyone thought was lost. Xylith's tablet chirped. Then again. And again. Her eyes widened as confirmed objective after confirmed objective scrolled across the screen. How? The word escaped her translator before she could stop it. Marcus shrugged. You want the full breakdown? Sure. First 30 minutes, I found a cave system near the drop point, basic shelter sorted. Noticed some claw marks, so I set up an ambush point using sharpened rocks and branches. An ambush? For a crucible ravager? Korth interjected, his voice skeptical. Those creatures are 5 meters tall with armored hides. Yeah, about that. Marcus scratched his head sheepishly. I realized pretty quick that I couldn't take it head on. So I observed its hunting pattern. Took about an hour. Then I noticed it returned to the same watering hole every cycle. I weakened some rocks above the ravine, waited until it was positioned right, and created a rock slide. Once it was pinned, well, he gestured to the blood on his clothes. Pointed stick, weak spot behind the jaw. Took a few tries. Xylith felt her respiratory spiracles constrict. You studied, trapped, and killed a ravager in 2 hours? 2.5, technically. Then I butchered it. That's your food cache right there. Ravager meat apparently lasts weeks if you smoke it properly. Found some edible fungi, too. Did a small consumption test to make sure they weren't toxic. You tested unknown substances on yourself? Xylith was aghast. Small doses first, Marcus said cheerfully. Basic survival protocol. Anyway, the resource mapping took the longest. Your planet has some weird mineral deposits that kept throwing off my makeshift compass. But I triangulated positions using the stellar positions and that really bright moon you've got. Marked everything with rock cairns and carved coordinates into tree bark. The tablet beeped again. Xylith read the incoming data from the analysis team on Crucible 9. Everything he claimed was verified. The Ravager corpse, the sophisticated shelter with ventilation and water collection systems, Enough preserved food to last months. Survey markers indicating water sources, mineral deposits, edible plants, and danger zones. He'd done in hours what should have taken years. But why? Xylith finally asked. Why rush? You could have taken your time. Ensured your safety, built a proper settlement. Marcus looked at her with genuine confusion. Commander, my daughter's birthday is next week. I promised I'd be there. I wasn't going to miss that because some test assumed it would take forever. He paused, then added, No offense, but your test seems designed for species that wait for opportunities. Humans, we make them. Korth was reviewing the historical data. Commander, I'm reading about Earth's environment. Their gravity is 1.4 times standard. Atmospheric oxygen levels are dangerously high. Extreme temperature variations. Abundant megafauna predators. Frequent natural disasters. And they evolved without any natural armor, venom, or enhanced senses. Marcus nodded. Yeah, we just had our brains and our stubbornness. When your entire evolutionary history is surviving things trying to kill you, you get creative fast. Xylith stared at the human, a species the Galactic Union had only recently made contact with, a species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel, that many considered primitive. She updated her report with trembling appendages. New record established. Time 7 hours 43 minutes. Species, human. Recommendation, recalibrate survival trials. Current standards insufficient for human baseline capabilities. Your certification is approved, she said quietly. And congratulations, Mr. Chen, you just made history. Marcus smiled. Thanks, Commander. Now about that ride home. I've got a birthday party to plan. As he left, Xylith turned to Korth. Make a note in the xenopsychology database. Humans don't survive harsh environments. They conquer them, and then they go home for birthday cake. Korth's translator struggled with the final phrase, but Xylith understood. She'd just witnessed something the galaxy would need to adjust to. Humanity had arrived, and they played by their own rules.